William Terrio, District 9, appointed Jeremy Sweeney to the Lafayette Science Museum Advisory Board for a 4-year term effective December 1st, 2016. Automatic appointment of Nanette Cook to the Transportation Policy Commission, City, for an indefinite term effective February 19th, 2019.
I need a motion and a second from the council to introduce ordinances items 48 through 62 in global. Second. Councilman Castile had a motion. Third. Second by Councilman Terrio. Cindy, please read.
Ordinance 41, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending ordinance number 210, 2018 of the Lafayette City Parish Council and correct certain precinct designations and descriptions. Ordinance 42, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council reapportioning the Lafayette City Council districts and the Lafayette Parish Council districts, so specified in the amended Home Rule Charter ratified by the voters of Lafayette Parish on December 8, 2018, and setting forth a new reapportionment plan describing each City Council district and Parish Council district as reapportioned. Ordinance 43, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the Unified Development Code so as to reclassify the property of Bates Estates, LLC, care of Keith Bates, case number ZON 2019-0007, 900 St. Joseph Street rezoning, located generally north of West Congress Street, east of St. Joseph Street, and south of Oaklawn Avenue. The particular parcels being rezoned from residential single-family to mixed-use neighborhood with a conditional use permit for a dwelling single-family detached. Ordinance 44, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the Unified Development Code so as to reclassify the property of Jacob Landry, case number ZON 2018-0029, 108 North Beetle Road rezoning, located generally on the east corner of Wentworth Boulevard and North Beetle Road. The particular parcel being rezoned from residential single-family to residential mixed conditional. Ordinance 45, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council providing an exemption from sales and use tax for certain sales within a Lafayette Cultural District, to provide for the definition of a Lafayette Cultural District, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Ordinance 46, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 18-19 operating budget and manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by deleting one clerk 2 position in the Communication 311 division and adding one clerk 2 position in the Human Services division, in the Human Resources division, both divisions within the Chief Administrative Officer Department. Ordinance 47, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 18-19 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing the use of sales tax cap Improv City's PY fund balance in the amount of $478,380 and appropriating it within the CAO Communications 311 section to be used for the Digital 311 project. Ordinance 48, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 18-19 capital and operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $38,107 and $38,107 received from the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement for a 2018 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Law Enforcement Assistance Grant and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department. Ordinance 49, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 18-19 operating budget and manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by adding one janitor position within the Lafayette Police Department by use of the city general fund balance in the amount of $9,333. Ordinance 50, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending Chapter 38, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 1 in general, Section 38-1, Code Adoption of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances to adopt the 2015 edition of the International Fire Code and certain amendments thereto, and to allow for amendments to be made from time to time. Ordinance 51, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into an agreement between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government, the State of Louisiana, Department of Transportation and Development, and the Acadiana Planning Commission concerning the state project number H012393 LA 98 roundabout at Mill Street. Ordinance 52, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1819 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing the use of sales tax cap Improv Cities PY fund balance in the amount of $200,000 and appropriating same to the adaptive traffic signal control match within the Public Works Department Traffic Signal Maintenance Division. Ordinance 53, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a memorandum of understanding between Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government, LCG, and the Lafayette School System, LPSS, to provide employment services for transitional aged youth. Ordinance 54, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into an intergovernmental agreement by and between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and the City of Scott in a transfer of property acquired by the State of Louisiana Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness Hazard Mitigation Grant under Hurricanes Gustav and Ike 2009 DR 1786 and DR 1792, ordinance number 114-2013, to the City of Scott, Louisiana, situated in the City of Scott, Louisiana. Ordinance 55, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council declaring the building or structure located at 102 Alabama Road, Lafayette, Louisiana, owned by Marion Johnson Dugas, to be dilapidated and dangerous to the public welfare and ordering the condemnation of same.
Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Williams, any public comments on the above introductory ordinance?
Yes, sir. We do have citizens who signed in, first of which those who signed in and did not wish to speak. Under number 48, to correct certain precinct designation, we had 8 citizens who did not wish to speak, 6 of which support the ordinance, 2 of which oppose. We, under number 49, which is the reapportionment, we had 8 citizens who did not wish to speak who signed in, 3 of which supports the ordinance, 5 of which oppose. Under number 51, which is the North Beetle Road rezoning, we had 1 citizen who did not wish to speak who supports the ordinance. For our citizens who signed in to speak under the introductory ordinances, we have, first of all, LUS Fiber, who signed in for 48 and 49. Okay. For 48, we had Ashley Mudd. She left. For 48 and 49, we had Andrew Abair. 48, Wayne Colvin.
I know I'm tired. I'm Wayne Colvin. I'm a District 8 resident. And I really wanted to address item 9, but apparently that didn't make the cut. But anyway, I want to talk about the unraveling of the charter. You know, this thing, in my viewpoint, and you've heard several people mention it, it's been rushed all the way through since the very initial process, when some council members were left out of the initial discussion, and it was kind of rushed to a vote, and town hall meetings were held to try and disseminate the information. Bruce Conk had to handle nearly all the questions at several of the meetings because the council members were still unfamiliar with it. How many pages were in that charter rewrite? Over 80 pages. And you wonder why the people out in the residents can't understand it. I'm sure y'all had a tough time going through all that and looking at what's changing and what is not. There were some issues that, you know, we know that could have been addressed with the ordinances like the LPUA, and maybe that issue could have been addressed and that part dealt with without just unraveling the whole charter. But what kind of got my ear is that when, you know, after these initial discussions, and then we had to have a PAC member continually push this idea. And to me, that was a sign that somebody is trying to drive this in one direction without the public input. Usually with a public, and you want the voters to vote. Well, as I recall, there was only about 6,700 votes in that very light election, because it was geared towards having a light election. Now, if you really wanted the people to vote, and how many citizens we have in Lafayette Parish, 300,000 or whatever, give or take a number or two. How many? 350? Okay. And we only get that few out to vote. So that's telling me that, you know, people really weren't in there because it's such a complex issue. And yeah, we tried to break it down, or efforts were made to break it down to keep it with that simple little phrase, fix the charter. Well, there might have been a move to say, all right, let's change the way the council's set up and everything else, but you created a lot of problems when that was done. Namely, that you have these voters that are confused. As we saw, we already have one thing just shortly after election come up for litigation or potential litigation or problems, and we tried to let the demographer have to correct it, and that kind of got delayed and strung along. That doesn't bode well for this. I think you're going to have more litigation coming forward with this. I think you're going to have some when you have representatives elected that maybe live in the city and they're trying to represent a parish, or maybe, like we said, one of the things, well, we have to leave some of the city districts like they are because of the justice mandates for having proper segregation and minority segregated districts. Well, what about all the new districts that are created? What if the Justice Department jumps in and says, wait a second, you didn't handle this right? How are we going to fix that with an ordinance? How are we going to unravel all that? So there's really problems with that. And then when you have, you know, Councilman Hebert gets elected to the city council, but then her neighbor gets elected to the parish council right next door to her. But they representing the parish, and she's representing the city. You don't think that would draw some questions and say, wait, we've got two people on the same Lafayette consolidated council or parish and city council? I think it bodes well that there's going to be some litigation, and before you start just approving ordinances to correct these things, you had an opportunity earlier tonight to maybe get some higher opinion and another set of eyes on this, and you passed on that. So I'm just saying I would hope you move very slowly on this and really give the people a chance to maybe re-vote on all of this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, if any.
In keeping with the precinct change ordinances for 48 and 49, Pat Trahan. Wallace Senegal, 48 and 49. Don Bertrand, 49. Sarah Roy.
Thank you. So you doing too.
And under number 51, the North Beetle Road rezoning, we have, and your name? Oh, I didn't have your name listed, but you could come on up.
Or you can send us an email.
I don't have a computer or a smartphone. I'm old-fashioned. Home telephone, absolutely. By choice. Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Lydia Romero. I'm from District 2. Okay. Please forgive me. I've got notes all over. All right. I believe that the current council of the Lafayette Consolidated Government has no authority to amend the amended Home Rule Charter as ratified by voters. According to Section 703 of the amended Home Rule Charter, it states, amending or repealing the charter. Proposals to amend or repeal this charter may be made by 2/3 vote of the authorized membership of each of the city council and the parish council. Are we operating under the charter as ratified in December. We are not. So we are operating under the previous charter, which states that proposals to amend or repeal this charter, not future charters as amended, but only the current charter they are operating under. So you don't have the authority to amend what was ratified in December at this time. You know, it's been mentioned, a lot of people have said, everybody has an opinion. Is our home rule charter an opinion or a fact? Okay? The city parish attorney has opinion. The attorney general, state attorney general has an opinion. The home rule charter has the facts, and it describes redistricting following official publication of the federal census. Now, there are state laws due to population and minority populations that things have to be configured in certain ways, and if some population of a district is too little or too much, things have to be rearranged. Those are acceptable ways of, or acceptable reasons to amend it, excuse me. Doesn't give anything of what Representative Castile wants to do tonight. Let's see what else. And the Attorney General opinions in Mr. Escott's report, did anyone, I didn't hear anyone ask or find out, did that apply into a situation like ours? Some places were permitted or told they were permitted by the Attorney General's opinion. But was any case like ours? Not that I ever saw. And, you know, just as a reminder to everyone, because it seems to be forgotten. The Declaration of Independence states, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and that they are endowed with it by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute a new government. I believe that there are some issues with the charter that are unconstitutional, and I don't believe any of these ordinances should move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Williams, any other speakers?
Under number 51, North Beetle Road, Louisa Smith signed in, and Elena Moe. You can come up. You're Elena? Elaine Moe.
Elaine Moe at 99 Wentworth. Please don't hold it against me that I was at the tail end of this meeting and that you're staying late, but I really want to exercise my right to talk. I live right across the street from the development that's being proposed at North Beetle. This all started before Thanksgiving. The neighbors saw the blue sign. We called, we got information, we had meetings. We called our 2 city council members, Nanette and Liz. They were great with us. We had meetings with the developers. We've read the UDC, or we've at least tried to. We've asked questions of the zoning department. We've written letters to you all. We've knocked on doors. We've gotten to know our neighbors better. We wanted to know what role we can play as citizens. I think this is a good thing. I'm proud of what we've done, and we are a great example of citizens, government, and developers. Yes, even developers can work with citizens to get things accomplished. None of the neighbors think a high-density project on this lot is a good idea, and we would still prefer that our neighborhood not have this high-density lot. But over the past 4 months, the developers have met with us, and they have made some changes to their plans and made steps towards a compromise. In my opinion, this project is still too dense. It's a 0.75 acre lot, but has 7 units on it. One of my main concerns is parking and traffic, and it still remains, and it's due to the high density. Adequate parking is imperative for guests that that live at this place or visit this place, should be provided on site. The developer is telling us he's trying to accomplish this, but it would make us feel much better if there was something in writing that was attached to this ordinance that would address that, so that we could trust that that was really going to happen. You might remember Lippy Boulevard was closed when St. Pius was built. That made tremendous increase in traffic on this particular street where this development is planned. We are very concerned, and we know that's going to make it worse. We've talked to Nanette and Liz about it, and I'm sure we'll be continuing to talk to address this issue. I do trust that the developer will continue talking with us and hearing our concerns as he has in the past as it goes forward. I'm not necessarily asking you all to oppose this. I'm asking you to please consider how this high density affects us and maybe add a few conditions or some stipulations to it that would reduce the impact on our neighborhood. I specifically ask you, please, in the next 2 weeks before you vote, to come drive by. Come see what our neighborhood looks like and what this would do to how this changes our neighborhood and what it's going to be. We have a beautiful neighborhood, big lots. We don't have any density like this. For future purposes, I would encourage you, I have an issue with the UDC as well. I don't think it really takes into account any of considerations for the existing neighborhood before development comes in. I would suggest, how about you take an average of density of lots in that neighborhood, and maybe there's a certain percentage that the developer can exceed that by a little bit. So just so that the neighbors that have lived there, bought into this area, feel like they are taken into account of what we bought in the area for, and so that a developer can't come in and greatly increase the density and change our neighborhood. But I do want to say thank you to Jacob and Tyler, who have worked with us many times, and to the city council people. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I just want to be sure, Louisa Smith, oh, you are here, okay, you can come on up. That's the final speaker, Mr. Chair. She's the-
Louise Smith. I live at 101 Soho Circle, which my side yard faces Beetle Road, right across from the new development. I'm not going to go over everything that I was going to say because Elaine has already said it. I would just like to strongly suggest that the council members go by the property during the next 2 weeks to have a visual of what we're talking about. And I, too, would like to thank Nanette and Liz and Jacob and Tyler for listening to us and meeting with us so many times during this process, because we've gone from one plan and we keep getting a little better, and we feel confident that we can continue doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hebert, you have the floor.
I know that was the last speaker, but I wanted to let the fellow council members know that Nanette and I'll send you an update of all the different changes that we've made. I'll try and keep it brief. That way you guys can be updated going into the next meeting. And again, I want to thank Tyler and Jacob for working with the neighborhood, and the neighborhood for working so closely with Tyler and Jacob in a very productive and positive way that Nanette and I have said over and over again through the process that this is how it should be. It should be developers working with the neighbors and vice versa. And everyone may not walk away happy, but there's a compromise involved, and that could have easily been done with the appeals that we voted on earlier. But so thank you all. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. I'd like to call for the vote to introduce in globo items 48 through 62. Please call for the vote.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7.
Yes.
District 8.
Yes.
District 9.
Yes.
District 1.
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to introduce is approved.
Meeting's adjourned.